Hello everyone, it's SDS SuperCoach providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present the round 17 review. First off, before I start being really depressed about my current side, it was great to meet up with Brad from SuperCoach Pro. So I did go down to Geelong for the weekend. We went to I went to Hawthorn versus Geelong, which wasn't a good time, but a very good time was Brad and a couple of mates of his. So no, that was super fun. We went down, ended up going down to a couple of pubs. So not pubs, a couple of clubs. And yeah, that was really good. But I'm a bit of an old man these days. Like it hit 120 and I just could barely keep my eyes open. And I'm just thinking, gee, I've got to go. Like back in the day, I'd be cutting sick till about 5 o'clock. But nowadays, yeah, that was me wrapped up at about 1:30 in the morning. But it was a great time seeing Brad from Supercoach Pro. So shout out to him. Yeah, it was just a ripper bloke in person and obviously online as well. So yeah, it was great to spend the weekend with you, Brad. Unfortunately, from that weekend, we did have some Supercoach results, and fair to say, a lot of carnage has happened. And fair to say, my side is just in this downward spiral that I can't really fix at the end of the day. So we scored 2,302. We dropped 1,065 spots in season rank. And now our season official rank, as of right now, is 9,694, holding inside the top 10K for dear life. It's just been a really average season on my end. So yeah, it just hasn't been my year. I'm sort of prepping for 2025. I'll probably title it something like that. When does 2025 start or um prepping for 2025? I don't know. But yeah, it's fair to say I'm a little bit checked out on Supercoach now. Just because there's literally nothing I can do to sort of change this. I'm still in the top 5%, but as I say, top 1%'s the goal every year, and if I don't hit it, it's probably a disappointing year. But this one in particular, where we're not even close to top 1%, and there's not really much we can do. There's a lot of holes in the side. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the side. A lot of bad decisions throughout the year. Let's go through it and let's talk about the carnage because I'm recording this at about 9:30, so we can speak through it. Harry She's a 141, fantastic, really good. I didn't watch too much footy on the weekend. As I said, I'm a bit mentally checked out with Supercoach. So, in terms of AFL wise, uh, besides seeing my boys, I'm pretty excited for finals, to be honest, for the footy season. And I'm just so excited for the preseason to get underway because, yeah, the less said about this season, the better, in my opinion. Still going to put out content each week, do a review, might do a little other video each week, but really not much to talk about. But as I said, didn't watch much footy, but She's scoring 141 was really good. Dacos 92. I didn't say as well. I fell asleep at halftime during Collingwood Essendon, not because it was a boring game. It's just I was knackered. I'm just an old man these days, as I was saying, because yeah, I don't know. I don't recall the last time I've fallen asleep at half, during a game. Like I can't believe that. Unless I'm hungover at 4:40 on a Sunday and it's the graveyard shift. But yeah, a Friday night prime time game and I've fallen asleep and I've woken up and seen Essendon in front by 12 points with 2 minutes to go. I'm like, oh, here we go. Um, but yeah, Dacos, I was tempted to captain him, but vice captain him, but just thought Essendon do concede a lot of points. They don't concede a lot of points. They're very restrictive. I know it was a big game, but yeah, I just backed the data on that one. Luke Ryan, 99, not quite his 197 self in this matchup this time round, but he's uh, been a bit off at the past few weeks. So Houston's been a very disappointing trade in. I got him in right after the GWS game, and just things haven't gone my way with that. 102, 59, 76. It's just not good enough at the end of the day. That's weak as piss, Houston. You got to lift. Really going to need you to lift because, yeah, there's just players in other teams that are just killing me. Nick Blakey, 69 after a couple of really good weeks. Fell a bit back down to earth. Feels like owning Hayden Young again with Nick Blakey, where he can put out some good scores, put out some absolute stinkers. What's really concerning is this was against St Kilda, and St Kilda just leak points everywhere in the back line. That's just not good enough, Nick Blakey. I know you've given me a couple of good weeks. I might let you off for now, but I'm going to need a response this week because that's really concerning. Yeah, so Houston, really, really frustrating. And that's just not good enough, Houston. Blakey, I'll let you off this week because you have given me a couple of really fun weeks. But switch back into gear for next week. Hayden Young, 125, fantastic, really good, no complaints there. I think Will Dawson's back this week, so that's good. Marcus Bontempelli, 106, very solid. I listened to the Port Dogs game in the car on the way there at up until halftime, so I didn't hear Bont too much, but yeah, Porter just really restrictive. Errol Goulden, 85. Really disappointing here. We're gonna need a bounce back out of Goulden. He's been really good fun to own. I've had him since this Geelong game. But yeah, 85's not good enough because against St Kilda, you do leak a lot of points there. He got tagged in the fourth, but so he didn't get a touch there. But just really disappointing there from Goulden. So gonna need him to lift. Butters 159, unbelievable. I believe he got subbed off during the game. I didn't see a second of Port and Dogs. But unbelievable. Shout out to Zach Butters. Sam Walsh got tagged out of the game, so outdid his. So he's overruled his good work from last week, unfortunately. But oh well, can't do much with a tag. And speaking of tags, Caleb's wrong. I didn't see this coming. As I said, I didn't watch much footy. Didn't see a second of this game. I've seen one clip of Heath Chapman kick a goal on the boundary line, and that's it. Sarong got tagged. I can't believe Richmond are tagging. This was like the banker. This was the banker. Any matchup against Richmond, and now they're running a tag in the midfield. Sarong has been actually a really bad trade in for me. I've come to learn after the Sydney game when I got him in, he has been really mediocre. I mean, he hasn't been bad, but he's just been. It's given me 3 tons in about eight weeks after the Sydney game. I brought him in for the Sydney game, and yeah, he's just been bang average. So once again, a massive reminder: do not pay top dollar for players, regardless of how scary it can be. I think we're learning that with Max Gawn now. Tom Green, 96. All right. Dawson's a massive concern. Yeah, as you can see, it's just primo carnage everywhere at the minute. Obviously, it's not for me, just for me. It's for a lot of people. But Dawson's been really poor. When did I get him in? I got him in for the Lions game. No, I got him in for the Port game. So I've had him for a fair while now, about 10, 11 weeks. And yeah, he's just ever since that injury concern, he's just not playing up the standard that we know Jordan Dawson is capable of. I think that Richmond game summed it up. That's his ceiling at the minute. That is his absolute ceiling. Um, uh, Adelaide are putting him everywhere and that sort of thing, and that's really frustrating me. We all know Dawson's at his best in the midfield, and look at Adelaide on the ladder. Look what happens when you don't play him full-time midfield. They're just really poorly run at the minute, the Crows, and they're really driving me up the wall, the Crows. It's obvious that he's being held up by this injury that he's carrying at the minute. It's pretty obvious. Like you can see him run around the ground, just looks lethargic, just struggles to get around the ground. So I'd rather just Adelaide just rule him out for the year. Let me trade him out because yeah, he's just been bang average at the end of the day. I mean, I'm doing this trade 10 times out of 10. You can't really predict injuries. Obviously, you can limit the risk, but I mean, Dawson's been very durable throughout his career, so it's more frustrating that Adelaide are just letting him play through this. So I'd rather just him be out, and I'm happy to go down to 2 trades for him to be out for the rest of the year, to be honest. One positive that went well for me this week is I brought in Connor Rozee. I traded out Matt Rao. I thought Matt Rao was a fake premium, never proven that he's ever been a premium before. I brought in Connor Rozee because I know that he's done it in the past, that sort of thing. And I banked myself 60K. So that was the one trade I did. I didn't mention that so far this video. That was a massive positive. So shout out to Connor Rozee. Thank you so much for that big score. If I didn't do that trade, I don't think I'd be doing another video for the rest of the season because I would have just been that down in the dumps. It was still a very disappointing week. But yeah, very happy with Connor Rozee there. As you can see, I've got no cash gen going on besides Richards and Dowling. It's dire, this bench. It's dire. Max Gawn, he was my captain. Once again, I don't really regret it. He got subbed off in the 4th quarter due to an ankle injury, and now he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. I'll talk about trades, that sort of thing, and what we should do. But I thought Gawn was playing really well. I like the matchup against West Coast, and not too much you can do, really. I mean, as I said, it's hard to predict injuries. I know he's a bit of an old man now, Max Gawn, but you can see the form, like the amount of big scores that West Coast have conceded to Ruckman. Yeah, I'm just this round of captaincy very much surprised me. I thought it was just a round of really good players available to vice captain and captain, and it's just not worked out that way. So it's just fair to say that the tags are really hurting our captain options. And yeah, just injuries at this point of the year are killing us. Shout out to Tim English, 137, really good. Can you just be consistent, please, mate? The consistency, I just hate players that are inconsistent. I just hate it. So just please keep this up, Tim English. Actually, you got a really good matchup against Tom De Koning that I don't mind that for vice captain and captain. Sam Flanders, 104, keeps doing what he wants to do. So that is a positive. Isaac Heaney, he's been suspended for 1 week. I've got a feeling that Sydney will challenge, and I reckon there's a chance that he gets off with it. And I'm crossing my fingers, and I'm sure everyone is crossing their fingers for that to happen. But good score. Dane Zorko, 84. I think Adelaide are actually relatively restrictive to defenders, so not the end of the world there. Darcy got subbed off. Jackson came on. I don't know when, at what point Darcy got subbed off, but Jackson took advantage. And yeah, I think it's fair to say the ruck cover is now coming into play here because Gawn's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. And I've got Dogger as ruck cover. So I know the pick hasn't exactly been smooth sailing, but very good to have as cover for these rucks. Charlie Curnow, 33, weak as piss, mate. Weak as piss. Seriously, I bring him in right after the Geelong game, and he's given me a 54 and a 33, 2 worst scores of the year. That just sums up my SuperCoach season. So, Charlie Curnow, please lift or you can get stuffed. This is the risk you run with key forwards. You know that that's going to happen. I saw him at 5 of 3/4 time. I'm thinking, what's going on? It's actually a miracle that he finished on 33. But it's just weak as piss, Charlie. So, yeah, going to need you to lift, buddy. I think Carlton could respond here against the Dogs. Dowling, 67. I'll take that actually for Fisher's cover. Fisher hopefully back this week. We're begging for him to be back this week. Joe Richards, terrible, mate. You scored more in a quarter and a half last week than you did in this game. Weak as piss, Richards. Terrible. So that's just not good enough. I thought you'd be a decent cover actually, but yeah, and now your break even is now at a whopping 79, so you're actually going to lose money. So this has turned out into a massive disappointment here with Joe Richards. I mean, the sub, I can forgive him, but this game, gee whiz. So, yeah, I guess we can talk about injuries, that sort of thing. So I don't really know how to approach this. There's so much going on to where I still need to calculate what to do. Max Gawn's out for 2 to 3 weeks. If he's out for 3 weeks, that's a massive pain in the ass. If he's out for 2, it's not the worst. I think I'm going to hold Max Gawn. I think I am going to hold Max Gawn. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, probably back in 2 because I think Melbourne will be desperate to play finals. I think Heaney can get off that, and we're going to need Fisher to play. Worst case, and I'm not going to complain too much about the carnage because I've actually gotten a bit out of jail. This is really laggy. I've actually gotten a bit out of jail with the carnage. Like I don't have Took, don't have McGovern, don't have Rankin. I'm not celebrating it or anything because it's just pure luck. But it is nice to get a bit of luck on my side this time round. So people are going to have to deal with McGovern. I think you hold McGovern unless we get a timeline that it is long term, but does sound like a week to week sort of thing. Took, I think, is a trade. I mean, I just don't think he's even close to being a top liner midfielder. So I think you just move off him because the difference between him and Gawn is I'd move off Took. Is he even a top 20 midfielder in Supercoach? I don't even know. The difference with that is Gawn, we know, is a top liner in the ruck line, where he's a lot more valuable. And look, I'm going to be honest, like I want to play for finals for my leagues now because there's literally nothing I can do with rank to fix this. Unless I trade Gawn and it's a massive pod. But I wouldn't mind going for finals, for Supercoach finals. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna hold Gorn. I think if worst case scenario is Heaney stays at 1 week, Gorn's out and Fisher's out. If Fisher's out again, I think I'm gonna trade Fisher over Gorn, just because with now McKercher back in that role, that makes it extremely awkward with just I guess the sharing and that sort of thing. I think North Melbourne might prioritise the younger kid over Zach Fisher. So I mean, if all three are out, because as you can see here, I've got Dowling, I've got Richards. I'm gonna have to field two of them this. I'm gonna have to field both of them this week. Because if Gawn's out, Heaney's out, Fisher is out, I cop a donut, and you got to prioritize not having a donut on your field. So, yeah, that's really the main priority at the end of the day. So, you don't want to cop a zero, especially at this point of the year. So we'll play Dowling, we'll play Richards, pain in the ass, but whatever. But yeah, look, I think if all three are out, I'm probably trading Fisher, and the easiest trade all year will be Fisher to Caldwell. If I want to trade Gawn, to be honest, I'm looking at Meek, DeConning, and Nankervis because I was looking up at DFS. Carlton, Richmond, and Hawthorn have the 3 easiest run homes in terms of Supercoach data. So shout out to DFS, just a ripping website for Supercoach stats and all these sort of stats as well. So I think I'm gonna, yeah. So this is more of a wait and see. I think if I had to lean towards a player to swap Gawn to, I think it would be Nankervis, but I don't think I'm going to trade Gawn. I think I'll trade Fisher if he's out again. And we just know how injury prone this player is. And, I don't like North season's done. They're not exactly in a rush to risk players. So probably end up trading Fisher and we'll get him to Caldwell if all three are out. But I've got a feeling Heaney plays, Fisher plays. Best case is Heaney plays, Fisher plays. We swap Jackson onto this bench here. Into the ruck line. We bench Gawn and we loop Dowling and Richards for the best score. Once again, so hopefully Fisher's back and hopefully Heaney's all clear. If I've got Rankin, I'm trading. 4 weeks is far too long. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I'd keep McGovern. I'd trade Took. I'd trade Rankin. That's what I'd do. And yeah, look, I guess it's time to have a look at the most traded and most traded out players real quick. Gawn, I'm gonna hold, but I have no issues with people trading out because I'm worried how he's gonna come back after that ankle. Took, I'd trade. Rankin, I'd trade. I think I'd prefer to trade Took over Gorn. Fraser, no issues with that. Although you might just want him to play this week if he's not sub. Sexton, no issues there. Richards, no issues. Revel, no issues. Rouse a fraud. Should have traded Sullivan and Oliver. Worry about 2025. If he has a full preseason, I am locking him in. No issues with Caldwell there. Good trade in. Same with Humphreys if you've got the trade somehow. Rosie, yep, nice. Jackson, I don't see a problem with this. Jacob Blight, yeah, that's fine. Manners, probably a bit too expensive at this point of the season, but that's fine. Miniz Wakefield, fine. Um, I wouldn't get in English. I would look at Meek, DeConning, or Nankervis over English for the run home if you are looking to trade Gorn. Dylan Moore, no issues there, and McKercher, that's perfectly fine. I guess in terms of trade targets, I mean, if you're trading Fisher, you get Caldwell, if not more. If not, get creative, maybe Jackson. If you're trading Gorn, as I said, yeah, so if you're trading Fisher, get probably one of Jackson, Moore, or Caldwell. If you're trading Gorn, DeConning, Nank, or Meek. If you're trading Rankin, Caldwell, you can go down, you can make money doing that trade, so just swap to Caldwell. If you're trading Heaney, I mean, once again, it's Caldwell. Don't know why you would trade Heaney. If you're trading Miller, that's extremely tough. Just go with a player you like, really. And yeah, so I guess we'll have a quick look at leagues because actually no, we won't look at leagues. They're an embarrassment to look at. Yeah, they'll do it for me, I reckon. I hope I help people with some of their decisions there. I'd trade Miller, I'd trade Rankin. I have no issues with people trading or holding Gorn. I'd keep McGovern. I'd keep Heaney. Hope that helps. And yeah, bring on 2025. I'm very excited for 2025. This season can get in the bin. Hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.